Turn around. You.
Me?
Yeah. Sweet Beet Farm Stand, old school edition. What up? Hope it's not backwards for you guys. It's backwards for us. We're a little obsessed with beets around here. Tom Robbins would tell you, like my friend Dustin told me, that beets are the most intense of vegetables. And look who we have here. Oh, what?
Are you reading Tom Robbins now? Did you start it?
You gave me a Tom Robbins book, and now Dustin gave me a Tom Robbins book.
Did you start yet, or what?
No, I don't know how to read yet.
Oh, yeah, you gotta...
Still working on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
All right.
you mastered the alphabet
Hey,
yet?
viewer.
Or do you still...
Only the Chinese alphabet.
Chinese.
I know. So good morning, afternoon.
Good morning!
I'm gonna flip you around because you don't want to see me. See this guy.
Thursday again. Which means Hen is here to come knock on my door and be obnoxiously rude, like she always is.
Preach.
And to ask questions about the world of bread. And today...
Hey, Monica Rico.
We have a very special guest today. It's called a Sesame Semolina Sourdough. Now let's
okay.
put this baby out of it.
What are you waiting for?
So, no explanation today. We're just jumping right into it. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna do like a bread tasting. I don't know what that means or why, but
And we have the technology now to actually feed the internet.
we do.
Right.
Right. So we're going to be passing this through the camera.
Through the zeros and the ones, you just compress it, right?
Yes.
And then you need to download the app to be able to uncompress. But uncompress.
Yeah, so we decided we were going to take a loaf of bread that we had on the shelf today and taste it and talk about tasting bread. Because there is an art to it, I guess, an art and a science to looking at what you did and analyzing if it came out right, I guess, or if it didn't, or for whatever reason, what's going on. So I'm like kind of just looking at it now, and I'm looking at the top, and I'm looking at the bottom, looking at the shape of how it baked, and you can already tell there's some abnormalities.
Like that bulge.
That word.
That
there's
bulge.
a bulge right here. There's a bulge right here. You can see that it's actually split there at the bottom, which is definitely improper. And I'll cut through that. And you'll be able to see what happened to the crumb when there's a bulge, because it's definitely not supposed to do that.
Well, and you talked about when we looked at the Bread Smart kit, now available at Sweet Beet Market. You talked about the things that the lamb that creates the slits in the baguettes, the slashes, and why that's important in terms of letting out the steam so that it doesn't crack in other places.
Right, exactly. So I cut this here. Now, actually, what I did differently today or yesterday on these loaves was I cut just one cut through the top. Sometimes I'll cut on the side as well, and that kind of gives it a little bit more space to expand on the sides. Yeah, you can really see there's a few imperfections here where the dough kind of pinches in. I'm gonna say that's shaping. I think that's me earlier. You can kind of see this one. I can almost see what I'm doing with the loaf, and that I put too much pressure onto the center, and I've kind of pitted it as I was rolling it and shaping it.
Wow.
That's just a guess. I really don't know.
So many factors, right? So you're always kind of guessing.
So yeah, so like I said, so I'm going to take this loaf and I'm looking at it and I'm going to say, okay, well, what can I do differently to kind of minimize these little imperfections and make the loaf a little bit nicer for next time?
Let's cut into that bread then.
Yeah, so...
My phone's about to die. How funny is that?
I have to charge it.
Should I plug her in?
Yeah, if you want to go behind me, you can film from that side.
Why don't you give me that? I'll plug it in right there. There's no plug. Technology, it needs energy too.
It does.
It's all about energy, All life is really matter condensed to a slow vibration. Or energy condensed into a slow vibration. No, that's Bill Hicks.
Bill, not.
Way smarter than me, guy.
All right, well, so I cracked into her. Now, the first thing I noticed with this bread, it's got a pretty tight crumb for a whiter dough, and especially even a sourdough, I would like to see this crumb become a little bit more open. And I've tried a couple factors with that. Trying to get more of this, I say open, just more big bubbles, a little bit more irregularity. There's something else I've noticed already by looking at this, which is that there's a little bit dense spot here, right on the bottom.
I do see that.
Which means it didn't really prove properly, which is strange because I thought I let this over-prove, and I thought it was going to be a little bit bubblier inside. Now, the smell is great.
Can you smell that? Put it up to the camera if you just get that. Good.
So, yeah, the smell's great. I can tell already that it's baked well enough. It's not like underbaked, because sometimes
What is a good bake right there?
it's a good strong bake. But I've got a little bit of a soggy bottom here. It's just a little bit on the dense side, which you won't really notice. But you can see it's definitely like you can see the bread has collapsed though on top of itself. It has a slightly different color on the crumb.
Does it have to do with too slow of a cooking time or something?
I'm
like
not
if it cooked?
exactly sure why that happened. I think it's not expanding.
Love you too, Monica.
I don't think it expands enough. I don't think the bread has expanded enough.
Right.
So then the weight of the loaf kind of sits
So back
down
to that
on it.
proving process you were
I think
talking
it just
about.
needs a little bit more proving. All right, so I cut right through that break on the bottom too.
I just want to remind everyone, we're looking at this loaf of bread with the discerning eye of an experienced baker.
That
And
is exactly what we're doing. Now, yeah, you can kind of see like what's happening here too. If this happened earlier in the baking process, this dough might have rushed out of the bottom here, like literally escaping through the crack, and you would see, and you can kind of see the pattern of the crumb pulling toward this area, and you don't want that. Like, that's just, it means you totally screwed up. You want your crumb to be, like, irregular. That's kind of the word you're looking for, or kind of the pattern you're looking for.
Rather than the regular pattern.
But if you notice, like, it's pulled somewhere, that means you definitely screwed up, because it should be, like, irregular everywhere.
Yeah,
So
evenly irregular.
Exactly.
Huh.
That's exactly kind of how you describe
Life
it.
lessons also really baked in. Here. Now.
Alright, so I guess maybe we should go into the tasting part of this.
Alright, so download your apps, decompress this file. Tasting coming right at you.
Because I know what this tastes like. I have a feeling this is going to taste the same. It shouldn't have any difference in taste. If anything, I have been fluctuating the amount of sour culture that I use in it, and we can talk a little bit about sour culture. That
would be great.
What is the hard part about this dough is that it's 100% naturally leavened with sourdough culture, right? So this is my sourdough culture. You can see it's all bubbly.
Sticky, huh?
And if you could smell it, it would have this very sour smell. Has a very sour taste as well. It's a very, it's just a very sour taste. It's not quite ripe right now. I'm gonna bake tonight, or I'm gonna feed in a couple hours. And
what does it eat?
And shape tomorrow. It eats flour and water. That's it. So to make sourdough culture, you just feed it. You just feed flour and water. Really, that's it. It's that simple. This loaf has flour and water and sesame seeds and salt, and that's it.
Next time, everyone who's watching, definitely next time check out the ingredients list on your bread, because that's one of the weird ones in the grocery store, and part of baking our own bread is knowing what the heck is in it.
Yeah, and so sourdough actually is, it lasts for a really long time too, before going moldy and hard. Because
I've noticed that with your breads I take home.
It's a very natural fermentation, which also naturally keeps the dough longer. Instant yeast just mimics what sourdough culture does, but it's a challenge because there's way more variables. You can make this more liquidy by just adding more water. You can make it stiffer by having it have more flour, and that changes the composition and consistency, but also the flavor.
Right.
Now, also, you can leave it out on the table. You can put it in the fridge. I do almost the whole gamut of this when I bake. Tonight, I'll mix this to a stiffer dough, and then first thing in the morning, I'm going to turn it into a liquid culture, and that's all on room temperature. Then I'm going to shape the dough. It's going to shape the loaf. It's going to sit out for a couple hours. Then I'm going to put it in the fridge for another 8 hours. So it's liquid, it's stiff, it's hot, and it's cold.
That's
so
what she said.
Kind of got all these different characteristics going into creating a nice, complex flavor profile in your bread, because that's kind of what you want. You want this you want a nice, weird, complex flavor.
Right.
You know?
And you don't want anything you don't need in the bread.
So why put sesames in it?
What the heck are those sesames for?
So anyways, we're going to taste it, and when you taste bread for baking quality, you don't toast, you don't put butter on it, you taste it as it is.
Hey, Maya.
You taste it cold, you taste it without anything else on it. You really want to know what the essence is. I will usually try a piece of the crumb by itself, because the crumb, if I haven't explained this, crumb is all the creamy part, crust, the part that holds it in line. Those are your two parts of bread. There's nothing else. So I like to taste the crumb. This isn't quite as sour as you would think it would be. I'll give you a piece that hasn't been in my mouth.
Preferred. Thank you.
Yeah, I find the sesame kind of overwhelms the.
There you go.
I think it overwhelms the sourness of it, so it doesn't really have a huge sour flavor. The aroma to me is all sesame too.
Total sesame aroma.
You get this really, it almost smells like tahini or like a nut butter, right? It almost smells. I think
which is what
like
tahini is.
Yeah. So it's got this really wild aroma. The crust is unbelievable though. I think the crumb's good, but the crust is really where this bread is. Really
Chewy,
good.
but not too chewy.
But it's got that really nice, and then the sesame's on the outside. There's also sesame's baked on the inside. You can kind of see those brown flecks as well.
You kidding me right now?
So, if you love sesame, this is a great loaf. I think it's probably too much sesame if you don't like sesame.
If you love sesame, this is a great loaf.
Well, whatever.
Now that is an excellent sentence.
I love this bread for grilled cheese. Surprisingly, this makes an amazing French toast. You would never think to put, I do the 5 grain as French toast as well, but that's a good shot, huh? But this bread is really, really good for French toast. I don't know why. We were all very pleasantly surprised because it's so savory.
Right.
With the seeds in it and the sesame, I think it's a very savory flavor. You don't really think that it would mix well with all of the French toast accoutrement.
Right.
But it's good.
But alas.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I really love this bread, but I'm not thrilled about how it looks. I want this to look a little bit more like a baguette on top, in the sense of an ear, like a curl. It's a little, I don't know what's going on, because obviously it's rising, and obviously it's got, it's pulling CO2 out of the air.
Right. Solving climate change.
Obviously,
sequestering carbon. Now,
obviously it's doing that, but
now I think the reason why I reminded everyone we're looking with a baker's discerning eye, because I wouldn't have noticed the things that you're noticing.
No, there's lots of things that are fine. Like this is a perfectly great loaf of bread. I don't think there's anything really wrong with it. However, you can, if you're looking for a certain thing, like I said, it did have this imperfection on the bottom, and like I said here,
And the crumb
you can see
dripping down.
this little like kind of two lines here, and that follows here, and it's in line with my slash. So I cut the bread wrong is what I think.
Well, you know what? Those are some good indicators, though, when you're looking at the quality of the bread. Look for the slits that you didn't intend. Look for the crumb and the direction that it's going, and if it's regularly irregular.
Yeah, I love that part. Oh, that's my timer.
So, can we come?
Uh-huh.
All right, we get to go. There you go. What's in there?
White toast. It's a little brown. Oh, it's perfect.
Oh, wow.
It looked a little dark in the oven, but...
Don't. Oh, but you know what you're doing. Okay. Yes.
So this is toast for the cafe.
The Village Cafe, they're here. Check them out. Wednesday through Sunday, 7 to 2. Nice job, Garrett. You're a busy guy.
Well, you gotta stay busy. If you're not busy, then,
All right. Any closing thoughts?
No, I'll dump these at our
Oh, that would be good.
out
Yeah.
to see these breads. We won't taste these, but you can come and taste them
At the
at
cafe.
the Village Cafe.
That's right.
This is a beautiful bread. With a beautiful white crumb on the inside. This is like as white of white toast as you can get. But I think it
smells incredible.
It's got a really long fermentation time, so you really get.
It's loud in here with all the noises, just so you know. I don't know what will translate. Whoop! We're going back this way. Whee!
Yeah, so for a white bread, this is a very, it's got a lot of fermentation time. So, you can turn around a quick white bread like this in maybe just a couple hours, but this one, I started at like 9 o'clock this morning, and it's just coming out of the oven. It's got an hour bake, which is insane also.
That is a really long time.
It's a very long time. It has a gorgeous crust. The crust is really thick, and then it's got this soft, white, like milky kind of crumb. There's milk and butter and a little bit of sugar in this bread, which makes it super delicious. If I don't bake these for an hour, they actually pit these sides. Instead of staying nice and straight, they'll start to take an hourglass shape. And
Wow.
so you really have to give it the right bake.
So look at this variety. I love it. So this means we've got a lot more to talk about in our next session, because you're clearly up to a lot of no good.
I don't do anything.
Right. We're gonna sign off. Actually, Garrett's gonna sign off. I'm gonna walk out to the market to see what's going on. You have any closing thoughts? Oh, look, there's B. Hey, I was gonna take everyone to come see you in the market, but you know what? Here you are. So hey. We just got a big order in, so we'll sign off.
No, I don't have anything to say.
No sweet quotes or like musical suggestions or something. Right.
I've been loving Theo Katz. That's all.
That's all. Great thoughts.
Modern Johnny's. It's awesome.
All right, friends.
All right. Till next time.
Take care now. Bye then.